So if you've ever driven down the 15 freeway towards Vegas or maybe back home to SoCal, you've driven by Peggy Sue's 50's Diner. And I'm here with Peggy Sue. Peggy, tell me the history of this place.
Well, the history of us is my husband and I worked at Knott's Berry Farm, and we met at the Birdcage Theater on the stage. He was the hero and I was the heroine.
Of course.
And we got married, and my husband worked at Knott's Berry Farm for about 17 years, and then we thought we wanted to go out on our own. So we moved up here and we bought a business at Barstow Station, and then this became available. It was an old diner, and it had been made into a truck stop, and it was run down and closed. It was originally a home, which I'll show you later. But we came out here and it just looked like a 50's diner. It was a 50's diner. So we reopened it and refurbished it, and we've been here 28 years.
Oh my goodness. Well, when you walk in, you have that nostalgic feel. Is that exactly what you were going for?
Absolutely, absolutely. Wanted everything authentic. And as a matter of fact, I was just looking at album pictures the other day, and when I was a teenager and younger, we used to go on road trips, and we would stop at the world's biggest dinosaur, or the California's biggest this, or Arizona, it was the Indian. And I have pictures of myself as a child standing under the big Indian or whatever, and it was always a treat to take a road trip with your family and then get out and see something different. So I wanted a place where families could stop, the kids could run around. My husband and I have 4 children, and we knew when we were on a trip that they had a lot of energy pent up.
Sure.
So we made a big park out and back for everybody to run around, and we wanted a tourist stop, like an old-fashioned tourist stop.
It looks like you've accomplished that.
We're still,
hands down.
Yep, absolutely.
So before you opened the diner, did you have any restaurant experience or?
Well, we were actors.
Okay.
And my husband was director of entertainment at Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh.
And then he was director of merchandise. So we had a lot of experience with dealing with tourist attractions and people and show business. And so we learned the restaurant business through doing it. We had a lot of help from a lot of the food service companies, a lot of friends, and we just learned it on our own. I think my husband was about 45 and I was about 42 when we started it, and we just picked it all up.
You just picked it up and here you are. Do people have the same reaction as I had? Because when we showed up, I honestly didn't know that Peggy Sue's like here. There's a real Peggy Sue.
Oh, sure, sure. When we bought the property, it was obviously going to be a diner, because it was a diner. We were going to fix it up just the way it had been originally. So we thought, what shall we name it? And we had a lot of ideas. And we thought of the Blueberry Hill Diner, because it had a blue roof. And we thought of Maybellines. And we thought of a lot of things. And a friend of ours said, well, your name is Peggy Sue. Name it after yourself. I thought, well, well, okay. If you insist,
Okay.
I'd be happy to. So we named it Peggy Sue's.
What's the story behind this as you walk in?
This we made to replicate a movie theater entrance, a box office where you buy your tickets for a movie theater in the old days, and this was Peggy Sue's, the movie today, I guess. And we have Betty Boop here greeting you to Peggy Sue's Diner.
You have Elvis over
And
there.
we have Elvis over here, and he will tell your fortune.
Oh, of course, he's the king of rock and roll.
He's the king of rock and roll.
I'm curious. I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking this. Where do you find this stuff?
All different places, all different. Everything in here came from a different place, and none of it was bought expensively. I mean, it's all, there's nothing we bought at a high price like an auction or anything. And we get a lot of things that people donate. They have something, one big Maryland picture, and they don't want it. What are they going to do with it? The kids bought it for them, so they'll bring it in and have a lot of donations.
Okay, well, interesting. Peggy said there's adding more stuff, so she's bringing something in right now. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness.
Is our newest addition. And really, I do bring things all the time. I'll show you something that came like yesterday.
Wow.
This is the only Austrian crystal cheeseburger in Yermo, California.
Yermo, California, okay. So over your shoulder, I see that this is a diner. And you were telling me that this wasn't the original diner part?
No, this diner was originally a home built in 1947, and this was the breakfast nook of the home. In 1954, they added the bar stools and the booths and made it a pie shop. So it was a pie shop in 1954. This was their dining area, and then I'll show you through here where it all started. Well, originally when we bought the diner, this room was completely empty, nothing on the walls or anywhere, but all the equipment was in, and the counter and all of that. and it had been, it was a place called the Dutch Maid. It was a pie shop. And so this was their, the Dutch Maid for many years. And then a man bought it and they made it the country kitchen like. But when I came in here and they had all the country stuff, I thought, no, it's a diner. So I put up pictures of, I used to be in the movies and had little parts in the movies. So I put up pictures of me with different people and some movie stars. And
wow.
this was the bedrooms, that was the living room. And so they made them into these rooms. When we bought the diner, they were like this.
That's so cool. Okay, so we've walked through the diner part. There's a gift shop over there, the diner part, restaurant part, and we're just keep going, huh?
We're going to keep going. We're going to follow the yellow brick
Follow
road.
the yellow brick road. How dare I forget? All right, here we go.
This was their bedrooms here, and it cut off right here. We added all of this.
Wow.
So this is our new room.
And then I dig this.
The record.
The big old record in the middle. Did you put this in? or-
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, put all this in. Well, 45 on the floor here. This is the original stew pot from the diner, the soup pot. It's over 50 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And we just remodeled our kitchen this year and we got a new soup pot. So this is the old one. And my husband said, we can't throw that away. It has so much history. So I just filled it full of vegetables. And I haven't even put a sign up yet, but I'm going to put a sign that says what it is so people can see.
That is so cool.
And this is original jukeboxes. They aren't, a lot of them aren't working now. To get the technicians was just insurmountable. We couldn't keep them up, but we have them there to look at.
Oh, that is cool.
Years ago, of course, my husband and I, when we first opened the diner, he was the cook and I was the waitress. So I waitressed for 18 years in here.
Oh my
and
goodness.
one day Rodney Dangerfield came in. And he and his wife, and I served them, and they loved the diner. And the next day, he sent me these roses.
Oh my goodness.
This is a close-up of the roses.
The close-up of the roses? Wow. You know, it's so funny because when we first walked in, I thought, oh, you have your wall of fame, but your wall of fame is really all the way
I've done a lot of really fun things.
So now we've moved back through the walls of fame. They're all walls of fame in here, right? I mean, people spend a lot of time looking at the walls, right?
Well, I've had so many fun experiences in my life, and my hobby has been photography. My mother kept albums of our life together, and then I've kept albums of my life and my family's life, and some of the pictures are just fun to share. You know, when you do something really fun, you want to share it, so I've done that. And the reason we built the pizza parlor was because we have a lot of locals who come in here all the time, and we wanted them to have a variety of food. So not just diner all the time, but they could come in and have a pizza.
This is the local hang right back here, huh? You know, that's interesting. When you think about restaurants and communities where there's a large community around it, they rely on the locals. Your business is relying upon travelers, right, for the most part?
We do. We have everything. We have the travelers, we have our local people, and we have a lot of military. And it's not uncommon if the military people are at a table, the table next to them, people will ask, can I get their check? And they'll pay their check, and it's just such a great thing.
That is.
So a lot of people bring me their 45 records because they don't have a player anymore.
Right.
So we did that. I have a little artist who works for me, Teresa, and she designed that and did that with the 45 records. So I thought that was really special, really fun. And then this is our dinosaur park.
So we're behind the diner, out back. What did you guys do back here?
Well, we wanted to create a tourist stop like I used to go to when I was a child, where you could get out of the car on your travels and run around, and any excess energy, you kind of run it off and have something different and see like our dinosaurs, the big dinosaur, the big turtles and things like that. Because families, when you're traveling, it does get a little tight in that car and you want to get out and stretch your legs and let everybody roam around a little bit. So this was our idea of an old-fashioned tourist stop. So we built this park for everybody to enjoy, and you can dine out here. And then we added the dinosaurs for something that the freeway, you can see from the freeway, and the kids love to come out and get their pictures taken with the dinosaurs. And we have the Tyrannosaurus.
What's the thing you're the most proud of moving out here? And how, I mean, that may be tough to narrow it down, but what's one thing that pops in your mind?
Well, one thing I'm proud of is our morning waitress has worked for us 26 years. She's opened this store every day for 26 years, 5 days a week. Haven't missed a dozen days in 26 or 7 years. Wow. My other waitress just retired. She'd been here 26 years. The kitchen manager was the busboy, and he's been here 27 years. And our general manager here now came from another business of ours, and she's worked for us 30 years, Kathy Anderson. So to have her help and her friendship and her guidance all along the way has been really a blessing to have someone so long. So
Yeah.
I'm proud of that longevity, and I'm proud of our meals because my husband still teases me about this, but when I was growing up, my grandmothers were from Texas and Oklahoma, and we ate dinner every night at home. And my family, you had a meat, a vegetable, and a potato. So when we first opened the diner and we did our menu, we did a hamburger with French fries and coleslaw, 3 things. Well, over the years, we added, instead of coleslaw or French fries, you could have soup, salad, potato salad, coleslaw, French fries, a variety of things. So we still serve 3 items. So I'm proud of still that vegetable and potato. My grandmother would be proud. And we used my grandmother from Texas, her recipes for the meatloaf, and my grandmother from Oklahoma, chicken fried steak, and we used all their recipes. So I'm proud of food.
What is your favorite item on the menu?
Oh, my favorite is chicken fried steak, of course.
Oh, no hesitation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's a pounded beef steak that's tenderized, dipped in like a fried chicken batter and fried on the grill. And then we serve it with country gravy that we make here, sausage gravy on top of it. And that's my favorite.
That's your favorite? We haven't even been in the gift shop. I mean, it's like a full-on store in there. What's going on?
When I stopped at a tourist stop and I was a child, I always wanted to go in the curio shop and get a little trinket or something, and also you remember your trip. Years later, when you get that little trinket from the place you stopped as a tourist stop, you remember the experiences you had there. So we have all kinds of souvenirs, but now for the diner, we have a lot of Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe, The Wizard of Oz, I Love Lucy, Betty Boop, and things like that.
That diner experience feel.
Yeah, and also we have a full-service ice cream parlor in there where we serve thrifty ice cream, and like the old days, you can get a malt, a shake, a soda, things like that. And lots of little trinkets of the desert, and a lot of movie memorabilia too. Oh, here's our desert.
I think we're being upstaged here.
Oh dear. It was fun for my husband and I to be able to do this together, to create this, and all of our kids have worked here, our grandkids have worked here, and we've had a big family business here for 28 years, and we're happy to have it.
Well, obviously if you're driving on 15 freeway, you can probably hear the cars going behind us. It's kind of hard to miss those big black semi-trucks right there that say Peggy Sue's 50's Diner. And then if there's billboards as far down as you can go on each side.
Well,
right?
we had one billboard when we started, and about every 3 years we got another billboard. So now they're all along the highway. But a lot of people say they see them and they stop.
This is so cool. And we haven't even been in the gift shop yet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness,
well,
thank
come in.
you.
We'll go look at the gift shop.
Let's go, let's go.